What's good, everybody? So on the last couple of VSCO tutorials that I did, I've gotten several comments of people saying it's outdated and the information is kind of irrelevant now. And there have been a few updates, so I thought I'd just make an updated 2017 VSCO tutorial. I'm just kind of showing you around the new app. So when you initially open it up, you'll see this, which is like the social grid, the social networking aspect of VSCO. I don't really mess with it, to be honest. I just use it for its editing capabilities. So if you click that square with the circle in the middle, that's going to take you to your photos, the photos that you can edit. I'm not too much of a fan. I don't really like the white, how the grid is set up. It looks kind of sloppy, kind of disorganized. The horizontals don't kind of match up with the verticals that well, so whatever, so edit's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and select my photo, and of course the brightness level of my screen is all the way up. And then you get this, and if you go towards the bottom, you get the sliders, or the icon that looks like sliders. You'll get these filters. And lately I've been using the SC3 a lot. I really like what it does to the photo. It kind of neutralizes the colors and adds some contrast. So I'm gonna go ahead and select that one, hit the up arrow, hit the sliders. Now what I really like about the new VSCO update is that they've incorporated these sliders. If you've edited with VSCO in the past, you'll know that they just had like the intervals where you could go from 1 to 2 to 3, and it was kind of a dramatic change. This is a little bit more, you can kind of see the progression of the adjustments. So, you can kind of, you don't have to skip all the way to 1 or all the way to 2. You can kind of, if you want to go to, 0.3, 0.4, it doesn't need as much, then, that's what these sliders are great for. And I mentioned that in a couple other tutorials of apps that I've used. So shout out to VSCO for doing that. That's huge. I really like that. So I'm gonna just bump the exposure up to like maybe like 1.3 or something. That looks pretty good there. I'm gonna try to keep it simple, just bright, and then in the dark areas keep it pretty dark. It's snow, it's trees and stuff, and if you look on the top left corner, there's like a flare coming through, so try to preserve that and maintain that while keeping it pretty contrasty. So when I go into the contrast, I like to overdo it initially because I know later on I'm going to need to add more once I add some of the other adjustments. So I'm going to go to like 5.5. Next I'm going to hit the triangle, which is a sharpening filter, and I'll zoom all the way in. Try to find like a reference point. So I'm going to use that sign. I can't really read it right now, but if I bump it up to like 6, now you can read that sign perfectly. So I know the photo is sharp. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, and you can tell it looks pretty good there, pretty sharp. Go ahead and hit the saturation. I'm going to desaturate a little bit just because I want that heavy contrast, and I kind of just, with the snow and everything, I just want it to be kind of bright and dark. So I'm going to desaturate a little bit. If I go over here, you can see there's some color, but I'm going to just keep it, keep maintaining that contrast. Go to like negative 1.5. I'll save the highlights a little bit. I usually like to go like +3 on that just to preserve some of the detail in the photo. And I'll always do shadows like 1.5 or something, depending on the photo, of course. Your edit depends completely on the photo you're editing. So then the last thing I'll do is go ahead and add a bit of fade. What I really like the fade to do is to crush the blacks. I don't really like it to get into the highlights, which you see if I go far down the spectrum, it'll start messing with the highlights. I just like it to mostly affect the dark areas, so I'll go like +3. And yeah, the photo looks pretty good. You can see that the contrast is maintained, it's bright, and then in the dark areas it's still pretty dark, and you got that lens flare that's kind of accentuated in the top left corner there. So that looks pretty good to me. Go ahead and hit the check mark, and then from here you can actually just go to share and like send it directly to your Instagram or whatever if you want to share it. So yeah, that's pretty much the new app. Pretty much the same thing, it's just a few differences. So of course the slider is a really big change that I'm really into. I really dig that. So yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking all this stuff recently, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Deuces.